I think what's very clear that we have is this inflationary process on the rails. And what really matters, not that we make one or another cut in December, January, March, April, you name it, the month, but we are clearly moving towards the direction of easing monetary policy. So what at this point I can clearly say that in the coming meetings, we definitely going to see some cuts. But what are the cuts? How big they are, or if they are, it will depend on the data that we have at the moment of it when we take decision.
The data, though, in the most recent outing for the ECB was all pointing in the same direction, and it was all down. Is there a risk that the data is going to underwhelm and that it leaves the ECB behind the curve?
Well, I cannot agree that easily that all the data was pointing down.
That's what Christine Lagarde said.
Services inflation has decreased, but it was still 3.9%. It's twice as big as the target ratio. Labor market, yes, there are soft data which is pointing that we are at the pivotal moment and that in the future tensions in the labor market gonna ease, but it's still to be seen, so to say. But I'm optimistic in that sense, and I agree that, and as I said, this inflationary process is on the go.
Back-to-back rate cuts is something the market was served up for the first time in 13 years. So they now have a view that it could be possible at every ECB meeting, they're looking at live meetings. How comfortable are you with the market pricing that we've got now back-to-back rate cuts on course through to about mid-next year?
Well, I would say with what I'm not comfortable. I don't think these super cuts, are somehow grounded unless we really see something unexpected and unexpected in the data. And so far, I wouldn't think that this would be a case. But the October's decision for me is literally what we mean by meeting, dependent on data decision. As the data showed we need to take this decision, we made it.
Inflation at 1.7% now below target. I know the ECB is expecting it to go back up again at some stage, but what if it doesn't? What if we still get some weakness in the data and suggest that inflation is now entrenched below 2%?
Well, I think it would pick up, maybe not that much as it was expected before, but it will pick up because this decline, we need to admit it, it's to a large extent because of the fall of energy prices, and these one-off base effects will disappear. But what we also clearly see that this inflationary process leads us into 2% inflation in 2025. Maybe it's going to happen a little bit earlier now than later, but that's what we are going to.